You were watching Omnis Protocol. I am Charles, also known as Omnis, and fresh off of the Evergreen Open held at the Dragonflight Convention. Recording this right afterwards. We're surprised that I still have energy after 3 fantastic days, but I'll dig more into the convention when we get to podcasting. Today, it is a Star Wars Shatterpoint Battle Report. This is coming out of the Swiss rounds. This features Dyzard from Rogue Support on the right, and is playing against Din, aka the Chosen One. You probably recognize him from the YouTube channel, playing Mace and Padme. So let's just dig right into this game, shall we? Because I know that's what everybody's here for. Okay. So here... All right, so it looks like we got a little strategic position action going on. Din is playing probably his favorite list, which is the Mace, Rex, Wolfpack with Padme, Pawn, 7, Scorch. Din had 1 priority and chose strategic positions. I think both of them were playing strategic positions, so not a whole ton of choice there. And then Dyzard has Vader, Rex, 5-0 first, with Maul, Pawns, 7, Scorch. Man, I didn't realize until just now that they're actually playing the same secondaries, same supports. The only difference here is the primaries. So just like a totally different path to basically playing some of the same models. It's like on the surface level, you think these lists are so different. Like Vader and Maul are so different than Mace, Padme. But at the same time, the lists are kind of similar. So, really excited. Yeah, that makes me actually more excited to see how this plays out. So it looks like Din started off with the Rex pull from the order deck, and he is using the dash to move Mace a little further forward. Puts him on that objective, not on the right level, but it does mean that Mace is at least starting off contesting it. And then let's see where Rex is going to go. Rex is on the same side. I mean, I think this is a pretty safe pull that he's going to head towards that middle objective that's kind of up towards the top of the screen. And he's going to be happy probably just starting off scoring 3, or like taking control of 3 objectives. He doesn't get to do any scoring just yet. And so that was Rex, defensive maneuver, gets a hunker. And then here we've got, looks like he's going to take a hunker action, take cover action, get a little more hunkering going on. All right, looks here like Rex can be behind those boxes and still be on the objective. So he's going to elect to kind of try to retain cover and be as far away from melee options as possible. All right, so they're starting off marking some objectives. So I think Din is perfectly happy with that as his opening play. All right, and then Dyzard pulls Vader Jedi Hunter. What year is it? We've got Vader back. All right, so on like the surface level, this seems like an awesome pull because you definitely want Vader to just go kill Rex. But it looks like Rex is almost certainly too far away. To end up getting engaged by Vader, so he's not going to have a fantastic, just like getting an early kill here, which I think Dyzard is sad about, but I agree. I don't think he wants to reserve and potentially be pulling, just stuff all the way on the other side of the board. If he ends up having to activate 7 Scorch right now, that's so much worse. So it's going to be a lightsaber throw into Rex. Looks like Rex is blocking 4. And so it looks like it's just going to be 2 damage. I think they may have forgotten. I think it should be more damage. The first step is 2 and a shove, but since he did use his force power, there should be 2 more damage added. So probably just should maybe missed a little bit of extra damage on Rex. All right. So it looks like Din pulled 7 Scorch, elected to reserve them, and then pulls Padme. I definitely agree. This is both a time where like they want to hold back 7 Scorch for a much more impactful activation, and I think that's why Dyzard didn't reserve. So that was just a score of 2 for Dyzard because he wasn't able to take the point from Rex. Yeah, let's see. So Vader's Fury definitely adds 2 damage to the damage pool. And the first step is 2. So yeah, there should be 4 damage on Rex here. We'll see later on if that ends up actually mattering. So it looks like he's electing to use Padme's to basically give additional movement to both 7 Scorch, getting them into a little bit better position. And then Padme is just going to move forward and is just going to accept kind of like a stronger position on the back objectives. And so that is a score of 3 for Din. So that moves from 2 on Dyzard's side to 1 on Din's side. Dyzard has pulled Shatterpoint, and look at that cool foil Balin card. So hot right now. So he's got a lot of potential options here, right? Because he could go Vader and just go, hey, I'm just going to like get Rex killed right now, but that doesn't really get more bodies onto that point. He could definitely come up with the 501st here and put a lot of pressure on Rex, get more bodies on that point, and get to shoot at Rex. Could also, actually, Rex might be a really cool play here because you could move Vader forward, take away Rex's hunker token, then have Rex also put shots into the enemy Rex. See, there we go. He has chosen to do Rex, but he is going to, so he's using the dash on 7 Scorch to put him on a point. What I like about this is it does make it so that point is less likely to be easily taken by Din. It also means that both 7 Scorch are now on an active objective. Or I guess he was on the active objective anyway, so he would have had protection. But this makes it a little harder to take it away. So it looks like Rex is willing to shoot at Rex in cover. Still a pretty solid block for Rex, 4 blocks. And that again will be 1 down the tree for Rex. So it'll just be 2 damage. We can't quite see Rex on the camera. I think he's under the gantry, but he is on the point. So that is a score of 3 for Dyzard. Din has elected to not take 7 Scorch from reserve and pulls Pawns, which I don't think is what he wants here. That's definitely a challenging pull for him. I think this could definitely have been a turn where he wanted to go 7 Scorch here and just plan on taking the kind of bottom right objective, which just has 1 enemy 7 Scorch on it. Pawns is kind of a rough pull. Very unlikely that Pawns is able to take a point. Honestly, it might be impossible for him to take a point. So looks like we got Pawns dashing himself towards the ladder. Looks like we got a shot incoming on 7 Scorch. I mean, chip damage on 7 Scorch is always nice. Pretty good roll. Looks like Dyzard has forgotten. Well, one, it looks like he forgot to put the hunker token on 7 Scorch. And so there he actually, and so that was actually, he should have had 2 more defense dice against that. I think this might be a little side effect that Dyzard hasn't played a ton of Republic, and so might have just totally forgotten that Rex puts out a hunker token. But okay, so no point taking for Din there. It did end on 0, so they both got a momentum. It was the 501st pull. So it looks like they both walked to the ingress point and are now defensive maneuvering. That is really going to stack up a lot of points on that objective for Dyzard, which I think he's happy about. Oh, I just realized I said strategic positions in the beginning, and I was like, oh, this is never telling me the odds. What am I thinking about? That hunker decision for Rex. So 3 damage and a pin. All right. So see here, well, we'll see. So this is where if the correct amount of damage had been put on Rex, then Rex would be wounded right now. Oh, that shot was not into Rex. That shot was into Mace. Okay. So currently still the damage miscalculation has not hurt Dyzard yet. All right, another solid block roll from Mace. So it looks like 1 step goes through. Interesting choice to just get some damage on Mace instead of trying to get the wound on Rex. I would be very curious what the thought process there was. I mean, obviously, like, strained pin Mace could be problematic. Could be problematic for Din. So here we got Din kind of deciding, is it time for 7 Scorch, or is he pulling the next card? Which obviously could be 501st, could be Mace. Then I think he's got Shatterpoint in there as well. All right, he is electing to do the 7 Scorch activation. I can see here Dyzard's missing the hunker token. Oh, now he's remembering the hunker token. So, all right. So we'll just have impacted the pawn's attacks, but that's still a really big deal. If 7 Scorch had 2 more dice for that roll against pawns, that attack could have very well done nothing. All right. Looks like Seven Scorch are taking shots at. No, here we're just double checking. Seeing if both of them currently have range to Dyzard's model. Just kind of a close measurement. So we get a real close up of Dyzard's head. We can judge how good of a Bic job did he do this morning. All right, so I think they're agreeing there that if he wants both of them to have attacks, then he does need to go ahead and do a move action. Oh, I'm going to elect to take cover. All right, looks like they're getting a bonus die from Padme. Not a great roll out of this one, though. That is just 4 successes. He elects to do 2 damage reduced to 1. So here we're going to see, will forgetting the hunger tokens backfire on Dyzard here? So pretty bad block roll. So it looks like 4 down the tree for the second attack, which is going to be enough to wound if he wants. Five damage strain pin. So getting a wound on Seven Scorch before they activate is a significant deal here. And he got him basically to the point. And so this is definitely one where forgetting that hunker token earlier on could be a big deal. All right. But that does not flip an objective for Din. So it was just a score of 2, which gives Din an extra momentum. I think it's possible that they missed a momentum for Din, because I think he should be at his 3rd momentum here. Again, hope that does not end up being impactful. Dyzard had pulled Darth Maul. Looks like takes a damage to full advance. Ooh, one thing here is Seven Scorch are already not on. They are already not on an objective, so they do not have protection at the moment, which gives Maul like pretty reasonable odds of get a kill on them. But there's the potential here for him to get damage on Seven Scorch, move to the back point, and pull Padme off of it. Oh, so he's not going to go for the pull on Padme. I think he wants the kill on Seven Scorch instead, which I think is totally fine here because he could reposition to reinforce that point in kind of the bottom right. And so he pulled one of Seven Scorch down to try to get a bunch of damage on him. Solid block, just 3 blocks, no expertise. So 3 crits are going to go through. So it's going to be 6 damage strain, I think, is what's going on here. And then Maul's going to flip stances and score 3. All right. Shatterpoint flip for Din. So who do you activate here? I think he's got I don't think we're at the point of giving up the struggle. It's not a good time to do 7 Scorch because of the strain. You can't really move 7 Scorch around from one of the other guys because of that strain on them. Is there a good play here? You could maybe do 5-0 first, try to take that point back there. If he timed things right, he potentially could use the cover to get some healing on Rex. So like when he gets the hunker token, be close enough to Rex, take shots at the enemy 5-0 first, and like if you get a wound there, you take control of the point on that side. Is not bad, but not great either. So he is going to elect to Shatterpoint 7 Scorch, which is it's a little maybe not. I think he's realizing, obviously, yeah. So he clearly, if he does 7 Scorch, he cannot use the tactic because they would just die. So he's got to forego the tactic, and then he's got to use one action to heal. And so pretty restricted movement there. It's an interesting pull there. You know, you would have thought, oh, Darth Maul whiffed or not whiffed, but like failed to get the wound. But because Shatterpoint came up next card, not killing 7 Scorch kind of worked to his advantage, because if he had killed 7 Scorch, they would have a great activation there. But because he did not, and he left them strained, he hurts that activation really significantly. When to wound characters, even though it's sort of a revenge matchup. But all right, so he's going to go ahead and do Mace. Mace is dashing forward both of the 5-0 first. And then he's dashing himself as well. Since he's already been moved up once by Rex, he's already pretty close. My gut here is that I don't love this play. Like, he can't take this point, right? Because it's got Rex on it, it's got 5-0 first on it, and it's got Vader on it. And he's just got Mace and Rex. So he cannot take this objective unless I'm like totally missing something here. So he's going to, he dashed to go forwards. He's going to focus, and then he's spending 3 force to get more dice. And he's going to hit 5-0 first. All right. I think he thinks that he takes the point here. I mean, maybe Rex got shoved off the point at some point and I'm forgetting. Okay, we got a lot of dice from Mace. 3 blocks for the clones. That's as good as he can hope for. There is a coordinated fire strain. So 6 crits go through. Okay, that's a roll. So it'll be like 9 damage, expose, pin, and a reposition. So we just got a little movement going on, little shuffle action. Gonna flip stances. All right, so this is where Din is realizing that Rex is still on the point. He kind of thought it was the 2501st on that bottom level. And so here they were just kind of fixing. They had agreed that Rex's position was within range of the objective. So that is just a score of 2. So here Din is going, if he can kill a model and take a point, he will win the struggle right here. So he gets 7 Scorch. So this is definitely can win the struggle here, right? If he ends up in a situation where he can kill 7 Scorch and get them to Padme's objective, then he would win the struggle. He would have a potential Padme pseudo revenge trigger to worry about, but I don't think that can impact anything here. He is going to elect to wake them up. Removes the hunker. He's got to decide which condition he wants to remove. There is a not crazy situation here where he kills 7 Scorch and kills pawns. Right? He has a pretty good chance of one shot from one of them killing. Actually, he needs 1 damage from the bomb to kill 7 Scorch. So he could bomb 7 Scorch, then shoot pawns twice, and just take 2 wounds. That would probably be my play here in this position. Because he can do that with removing the strain, keeping the pin on. I like the double wound here. I don't think Padme can really impede things here. He is going to go ahead and get rid of the strain instead of the pin. All right, tactic dash here. So the one back by pawns is going to elect to remove the pin. Then the other one is going to dash forward. Oop, got a little knocking terrain around a little bit. And then they're going to advance. All right, I think he's going for the Padme kill here, which is still solid. I think he's got a very reasonable chance of doing it. The one thing that can backfire is if her defensive rolls are solid and she gets the heals in between, that can spike out of the favor. And I would kind of love to kill 7 Scorch and pawns here. All right. All right. A little melee for Vader dice. That was a factor that I hadn't even put in yet either. Okay, so the first one is going to Vader dice here. I actually like this because it means if either of them hit good heals, so only 2 down the tree on this first one. So it just kind of looks like there's some deciding which part of the tree he wants to go down to start. I think Din's obviously happy that that opening attack did not spike and maybe even was a little below average, especially considering that the Padme defense roll wasn't great either. Okay, so the reason for this, I really like this shove angle, because it does mean it keeps the other shot in range. And so now he's might be playing a little bit for having her off the point if he's not going to get a wound. Good block for Padme. I think that's 4 blocks. Blocking 4 does mean 3 steps down the tree. So it's going to be 3 damage, disarm, double shove. Yeah, not a bad play there. Like I said, I think I would definitely have preferred. I think I definitely would have preferred to do. So basically shoves Padme to the edge of the map. So he is going to score 4, but does not get the wound. Man, I think the odds of Dyzard there being able to kill 7 Scorch, he needs 1 success on the bomb to kill 7 Scorch. Shatterpoint and 7 Scorch are used, so he's got a little bit before they can be active again. And can have 2 shots on pawns, which I feel like is very, very high odds for a wound. Just double wound, end the struggle. But damage on Padme could be really beneficial in the long run because of how her revenge trigger works. He is going to elect to still bomb, and he's going to do that on 7 Scorch. So yeah, he might actually still win the struggle here. He needs 1 success. And he gets it, because 1 damage strain means 2 damage on 7 Scorch. Oh, probably not going to win the struggle, because this will move Padme back onto the point. Yeah, if you were going to go that route, it's possible that you do it in the other order. So not quite going to win the struggle there. Yep. All right. We got 5-0 first over there. Not sure taking 1 point is enough for Din here. I mean, there are weak activations left for Dyzard, right? He's going to have to do pawns. Pawns is one of the few left. Pawns might be the last card? No, it's got to have... should be 2 cards left for Dyzard. So if I will first come up. All right, looks like 501st are trying to stay out of engagement with Vader, I think. Yep, so they're going to get a Padme die here. And looks like they've taken shots at Rex. Rex is going to block 3. So it'll be 3 damage pin. All right, another attack coming in. Looks like 3 fails, 4 expertise, and a hit. And Rex is going to block 4. So 1 crit going through, so 2 damage on Rex. So 3 plus a momentum. All right. All right, now, so I believe it was a Shatterpoint on Rex before. And so now it is a normal Rex activation. What's the play here? He needs to score 3 and a wound to win. Problem is, there's no damage on the 501st. So, Rex on that side might be impossible to take a point. Yeah, Rex can't kill the 501st. I think it's impossible on his tree. He can't... There's no one that he can dash in range to take the objective from Padme. Oh, well, actually, so the back point is empty. So Rex is actually fine. Rex needs to take the back point and get a kill. By back point, I mean top left is totally empty. Rex, we know Rex can get there. That should not be a problem positioning-wise. This is where if there was 2 more damage on Rex, which there should be, then this is significantly more likely. Needing 5 damage on Rex versus needing 3. I think that's 2 down. So I think he's kind of, he's also looking, he's like, well, he could reserve, get pawns. Is pawns any better? I think he wants the Rex play here. It's just, he's probably going... Pawns, like, maybe with movement from his tree, could get to the back point. Yeah, this is the point that forgetting the 2 damage on Rex, I think, is potentially hurting Dyzard. Still may not matter to the game, but I think this play is a whole lot easier if he's just going, oh, Rex has 3 health. I guess I will just come over there and get 3 damage on Rex, take that back point, and the struggle. Just gotta always love these like high deliberation moments in the middle of a game. Like, what are you gonna do? What's the play here? So he is gonna do Rex. He tactic dashes himself to remove pin. Then he's gonna spend a force to dash. Take away the hunkers from the enemy Rex. All right, and now Rex is going to roll 7 to 10 dice against the enemy Rex. Enemy Rex has 2 blocks after expertise. Just 2 blocks, so that is going to be a full tree, so Rex is going to get the job done here. Oh, it's harder, yeah. Ace is engaged, so he does have protection and steadfast at the moment, but he rolled far enough to get all of the numbers. Repo's up, hits the point. And Rex does have an action left. Din is out of force, so no movement for Padme. So yeah, with the wound and scoring 3 points, that is going to end the struggle. And so his last action was to heal 1. All right. Well, so for getting the 2 damage on Rex may not have been impactful. He may have gone for the Vader dice roll anyway to try to lock it in. Especially... No, with protection doesn't matter because Rex can do 4 damage on 2. Okay, so looks like 501st pulled. Or no, sorry, Mace is the last card. Block is going to be middle objective. What he's really hoping for is that Mace can dash pawns and then pawns can hit the ladder and go up. Yeah, I think that is almost, because it doesn't look like the range 1 tool is even up against the building at the moment. So I think it is extremely unlikely from the top down that pawns can dash and get within that point. He can... Looks like he can dash pawns backwards, maybe get onto that point. That one looks closer. Probably that one might be in. Yeah, the other hard part is that there is kind of a base blocking the, like, perfect landing zone. So you can kind of block, they're kind of blocking, seeing what they're actually doing, but basically Dyzard's trying to be helpful, holding the tools to try to figure out the closest placement for pawns. Now they see, is he in? I think they determined that he was out. Oh, he's in. Okay, so he's going to get that kind of bottom left point. Now it looks like Mace is going to go after Rex, try to get the wound there. All right. Plenty of crits. So it's going to be 3 damage, which will be enough to kill Rex. Electing not to shove him to keep him there. Obviously, this, you want the Mace steadfast bubble to be on. He scores 2. Oh, it's because I think they haven't flipped the Vader point yet, and he wasn't getting the priority point. Got to get Stratty P out of my brain. It's not strategic positions. So yeah, I think it's that point that's right in front of Vader just hasn't been flipped over because they had Mace on top of it earlier. Okay, so pawns is the last pull here. So he's got to get the pawns activation done here. There isn't another card left. He can take 1 point, which isn't hugely impactful. I think he would like to go back there and get damage on Padme and potentially get onto that point, but that's going to be hard as well. He does have 2 force left, so he can move. There is a world where he could dash 7 Scorch towards Padme. Oh, he could actually go for the kill on pawns. Like, he could dash 7 Scorch towards pawns, advance, and then shoot, and then rule 17. What he's going to go ahead and do, though, is he looks like he dashes himself down, goes up, and now he's going to shoot at pawns. Good block from pawns, 4 blocks, but 2 crits are going to go through. Was re-rolling it for some reason. I don't know exactly. Maybe it was too many dice. It's going to be 2 damage on pawns. And then it's going to be rule 17. So, yeah, so he is going to rule 17 because and he's going to, so because 1 of 7 Scorches within range 3, the other one is going to get the move and attack, which I think he's just going to stand there and attack. Looks like just 2 blocks for pawns. And then he's going to move back and take that middle point. Yeah, I think there was a play there where you dash whichever one is on the terrain right now towards pawns, then shoot at pawns, and then have the other one walk over and potentially like shove pawns off the point, and you And you don't end up with pawns on a point, but you have both your 7 Scorch on an active objective. 90 dice were not particularly doing anything favorable for Diz there, but I don't think that was a crucial swing either. So it was just a score of 1, so that does give Diz a momentum. Looks like Padme is the first pull here. Padme, I believe, can guarantee take that point from pawns because she can switch to tiebreaker side. But her killing pawns is not crazy either. If you haven't played against Padme or played with Padme, the amount of dice that she rolls plus, looks like she's in a focus to dash. Interesting. Now I'm trying to figure out what Din is going for here. And is just going to roll 7 dice into 7 Scorch. Wow, not a great roll. Din's dice are not doing him any favors this game. So, 2 damage after protection and an expose. Oh, so she was focusing to dash to get in range for 7 Scorch. So even though they're wounded, they're going to dash over, see if they can get some more damage on 7 Scorch as well. I do like the strategy here of trying to get damage onto 7 Scorch before getting into struggle 3 to try to make it so there's a second wound on them. I think that is absolutely valuable. So 1 block. So that'll be a full tree. So I think that is going to wound 7 Scorch. Yep, so he gets a little heal. I think, yeah, getting the second wound on 7 Scorch there was big. All right, so fail symbol. He's going to elect to reserve 7 Scorch there and gets pawns. I think this is fine for him. I think getting pawns activated here and out of the deck, and you have 7 Scorch in reserve, so you kind of have just maximum potential for struggle 3, I think is something that Dyzard is probably happy about. So I was going to do the dash on 7 Scorch to get rid of the pin, kind of make sure that they have a solid potential turn. Not sure who else is worth dashing at this point, so I think that's a fine pull. But it's not super useful. Looks like he's moving down. I think he's taking a shot at Padme. Would like to have her. So it's going to be 2 down the tree and then a heal for Padme. So it's going to be 4 damage shove. So she has 2 damage on her, takes 4, then heals 1, so we'll be at 5. Okay. Just got a little shove over there. Scores 1. Yeah, I think there I would have potentially not dashed 7 Scorch. I would have just dashed pawns down to see if I could get the shot on Padme and then just move myself back onto the point. Might have been my preferred play. But depends on whether or not pawns was going to be in range with just a dash. So Din pulls Rex. He's already in position to win the struggle. So he's going to he reserves Rex, hoping to pull pawns to get pawns out of the way, which he does pull, which I think is very good for him. I don't know if it's enough for a comeback play, but I think both of these guys are happy to have the pawns activation done in Struggle 2, because that can just be one of the weaker activations for both of their lists. So he's going to move Padme back onto the point, focus, and I think shoot at the opposing pawns. All right, so looks like some dice from pawns on pawns action. So gonna go 2 down. So 4 damage shove. He was just moving some damage from 7 Scorch over to pawns since they have the second wound at this point. Okay. So he is going to do Rule 17 here to try to see if he can finish off pawns. Just to try to give Dyzard less tools to move stuff around. Pretty solid block for pawns. Looks like 4 blocks. It'll be 1 crit goes through, so I think that pawns will stay alive. I think that's just going to be 2 damage. So it's going to leave pawns on 1. To be totally honest, I don't like the Rule 17 play there. I'm not sure that does enough, and that keeps him really tight on force for this last struggle, which I just don't love. Okay, so he is starting off controlling the middle one, but that would make Mace's point act. Well, I guess Mace's point is going to be active either way. Yeah, so he's going to take the one where pawns being alive. So, I mean, the Rule 17 play may have been better than I gave it credit for. If it had gotten the wound on pawns, that would be significant, because that was not a great flip for Dyzard at all. And the priority point is the point that pawns is on. So, all right. So, sometimes in the moment, I'm like, ooh, 2 force. Obviously, if he got that could have, with this flip, could have definitely been a game defining play if he got it. Okay, so he pulls Rex here. So he's kind of he wants to do the Rex play. He's trying to figure out whether he wants to disengage and shoot Mace and to have a more reliable shove off the point, or if he wants to let him have hunker or let him have protection and steadfast and go for the kill. Which, I mean, focus plus Vader dice. Rex rolling 11 dice. There's not much force left. I think my gut here is Rex gives himself the dash down and you just take the 7 dice. I mean, you maybe focus. Depends on how much you want to spend the force to move back on. One shove gets you the point, then you're scoring 3, and you don't risk potentially having damage on Rex. So he's electing to do the free movement on Vader. I do like this part of the plan. You want Vader to be able to affect more of the board here. So he's just going to focus Vader dice. It looks like he is going to try to go for the kill. There might still be a shove angle there if he hits the double shove. Because he could go like double shove heal. So it is going to be 11 dice. It is protection. So he's got to do 7. So to kill, he's got a full tree. So we removed 1 fail. The 2 expertise becomes 2 hits. I think this is going to be enough. So 2 blocks and a crit to a fail. And so it is definitely a full tree. So he has got the wound on Mace if he wants it. Which I don't see why you don't take it here. The thing is, if he does 7, he doesn't get to heal Rex. Yeah, so he's going to take the wound. He is electing to do the Padme trigger here. Everything over there is wounded, so she does get a full advance. It's not quite enough to have her affecting a point, which is sad. So a momentum plus score 3 is not a bad start to the struggle at all. Okay, looks like we're just a little bit of cleanup here. Since the damage on the characters doesn't matter. All right, we got a priority roll now. It is going to be fail, which is the Rex point. Pulls the card, gets 7 Scorch. Yeah, this is a definite score. Well, I mean, it scored 2 and a wound. All right, you got the first one. Dashing towards the objective. Finishing up the on the trail action. There's not a whole lot of good targets over there. I wonder if he's going to try to take get some damage on Maul here. There is a ingress point that's kind of mostly under the gantry, but you can see some of the pink sticking out in the corner. So I think his plan is just to be able to walk over to that. Yep. So he's going to go ahead and take a shot at Maul. Probably not a bad idea here if you potentially want to take both shots on Maul and then bomb on pawns. Potentially get a double wound here. I think I like that if that's what he's going for. Maul is 2 blocks. Four damage. I think I thought the attack was into Maul, but he's putting the damage on pawns. All right. Now this attack is into Maul. Maul is going to block 3. Looks like 2 down. 3 damage strain on Maul. I'm not sure if he has the force left for... He has 1 force left, so he cannot bomb. So just a score 2. All right. Dyzard rolls fail, which is Rex's point, which I think he's happy about. I think his first question is this the 7 Scorch turn? Do you get the 7 Scorch play out of here? You are kind of banking on a wound, but he's going to elect to pull the next card, and it is Vader. Vader, at this point, looks like he has no damage on him. He's going to spend 1 for Vader's Fury. I think Dyzard's perfectly happy with this. I think just being able to get over here, very likely to get a wound on 7 Scorch here. And so that was Vader's Fury, and he's going to roll Vader dice. Still has an action left. He is switching over to Gemso. Flip into murder side. I forget if... I think it's Dark Rage is his murder side, not Gemso. Awful roll for 7 Scorch. Yeah. Looks like definitely a dead 7 Scorch. 6, so full tree. He's got everything he needs. So it's going to be strain plus a lot of damage. And he's going to take the dash and just scoot himself. So he gets a momentum for the kill. He challenges the odds because it was a primary getting a wound. He's going to spend his last force to move Padme onto the objective. I think Din might be missing that slightly hidden ingress point. All right. Expertise is the one objective that Din is currently controlling. So he's got Rex in reserve, which is kind of off screen. And then the other cards are... And he pulls Mace here. Which is probably fine. So Mace's dash is on Padme to get her on the right level for the objective. Focus, coordinated fire, strain into Rex. And then 7 dice. Solid roll, 4 hits, 3 expertise. Versus 1 block. So he's got 7 health left. He's trying to evaluate if this is a wound. All right, so 8 damage, expose. Okay, no movement. Gonna keep him engaged. Gains a momentum, scores 3. He doesn't have any force left, so he can't challenge the odds. Fail is Padme's point. Oh, no, fail is Mace's point. So if it was Padme's point, it's probably not a bad time to go 7 Scorch. But since it's the Mace point... See, if he pulls... 501st can take the point for sure. He's got pawns already used. I guess it's slightly awkward if he gets Maul. But I guess he's probably fine with Maul going after Padme if he gets that flip. He needs 3 points and a wound to win. He pulls Maul. Is he going to go for the kill? Oh, because challenging the odds, he doesn't need to score the priority point? So he's got 6 damage on him. The strain will give him 3 more damage. So this is where the strain actually helps him, because it's going to give him an additional dice. So moves, he hits the ingress point. So it takes 3 damage. Then he's going to spend 2 force. Maul is actually spending force, not health. Yeah. So he pulls Padme forward to expose her. Seven. Yeah, so he's going to be 10 dice into an exposed Padme. Right? Maul flips to Dark Rage. Padme has 1 block. No fails for Darth Maul. And so that is definitely going to be a full tree. And so spends a force to challenge the odds. So, yep, that wraps up the game. I mean, how much more Dyzard could it get than getting to end a GT game with a Darth Maul activation? Very interesting. I liked seeing how these two different lists play, considering they brought totally different primaries, and it really kind of creates the lists in a way where they just kind of play extremely differently. All said and done, I think one of the most interesting things about this that I didn't realize until after, it to me feels like bringing Never Tell Me the Odds ended up helping Dyzard. So the fact that Din had Never Tell Me the Odds, I think kind of backfired on him in this game. And ended up being a tool that Dyzard was just able to facilitate, just like sneaking a little extra advantage out of it. Layout certainly didn't help Din, right? I don't think this is kind of a bad showcase for what Padme can do. I know I was not like praising her like she's the best primary in the game going into the event, but I still think she's very good. And I would say if you're watching this and go, this didn't seem like a great Padme game. I don't think this game was a good showcase of her, not to any detriment of Din's. I think it was just more struggle layout, order deck, just didn't make this game a really important one for Padme, but I do think she is still really good. And I think both of these lists are ones that we are going to see in this particular meta a fair amount. I think they're both very strong. I potentially would have I really like maybe Arf's or even Phil's instead of the 501st. I just don't find that I get enough work done on 501st activations, but overall, I think we're potentially in a little bit of a Maul meta. He's a great closer and he's a great opener in this. Like his ability to just like get a fairly dependable, early pressure, his speed. I think how fast Vader and Maul can move, makes Never Tell a very scary drop into him. Man, it's got me thinking. I'm like, should Dyzard be playing Never Tell Me the Odds? Is that crazy? Am I crazy here? Maybe he should. Anyway, overall, absolutely great game. Big shout out to everyone who came out to Evergreen, and in particular, shout out to Din and Dyzard for allowing me to record this game. Both awesome people in the community. You can check out Din at The Chosen One on his YouTube channel, and then everybody knows Dyzard as well. Rogue Support, baby. Make sure you're watching Rogue Support. They do live shows as well as posting on Spotify and YouTube afterwards. So we'll close things out there, and just remember, most OP thing you can do, Darth Maul, baby. Later, nerds.